So what we want to do is create software that is suitable for this activity and allows you more than us, because we are more computing scientists, but we learn from you now the moving picture jargon, allows you to formulate ideas, test them, refine them, and take them to a final product. So we regard this software as crucial in the achievement of Shapeshift, of interactive moving picture narrativity. And now I'm going to stay a little bit with this and then move forward on some more exciting, concrete things. Here we say build software that helps us construct these, but there are some quite impressive examples of stories that already do that. So there are examples. Yourself, you mentioned this email storytelling. It's a lovely idea. You have a software that does that. It's an excellent example. Before we started, there was some guys, again, the Finnish guys at YLE, made a production called Akvario. Have you heard of that at all? Again, that was in a television context where the story, then the actors adapted to input from viewers. So they filmed different possibilities of communication, and depending on what input was coming, those bits were automatically delivered through broadcast to viewers. So, and others and others. There are examples, but the example there is the way authoring happens. There is that you have the author who has the idea. How do you the idea? Bang! I want to do a light bulb. The author has to talk to computer developers to do the software. They produce a piece of, unless they're very skilled, but not many are good programmers and creative people. So normally we stay with those who have good ideas but can't program. So they need a team of software developers. They produce some software that then delivers the story. Creates software, creates story. Not creates, I'm sorry, delivers. I don't like creates, delivers. And here we have the viewer who is able to provide feedback, and through the loop happens there. So this is the development phase, the authoring, and then once the software is in place, this is delivery. Have an idea, talk to them, they program something, go evaluate. Probably they are going to evaluate until this is mature. Something doesn't work correctly, come back, tell them again. Do some changes, da-da-da-da-da. Very expensive process. And we don't have, money to create productions is scarce. Scarce or scarce? I never knew. Scarce, thank you. I've learned something today before you. Not only that, but let's say that we get funding for a fantastic, impressive production. We make it. They program this for that particular production. It's gone. It costs 2 million. It's gone. We can't reuse it. What do we do? Okay, find another team. They go, talk to them. So what we said was that we, instead of these guys, the developers, we do some tools that these guys could use to produce the story or the software. So that's what we say by generic software tools for authoring and delivery interactive narrative systems.
But then you have to basically change until each time when there needs to be a specific need, right? So is that the idea?
No, because we capture that in generic. It should be production independent.
For a lot of...
For any.
It's not customs, but it's generic.
Yes, so the aim is that I do an interactive documentary. Well, there are some ways of thinking and structuring. Why can't we extrapolate some general structures which I could use in a dramatic production? But they have to have a level of generality. We move towards grammars of interactive storytelling. So there are templates. You know better than me. You don't create everything from scratch. You see some...
Like the 3-act, for example.
Yes, like that. But that's such a general structure that is not necessarily a good example here. But we'll discuss 3 productions, and you'll see that in behavior, in the way they tell the story, they're quite different. Yet, those have been created with these tools. So our task was, and this is a lovely story, I said it yesterday as well, when we started this process, this project in 2004, it's called New Media for New Millennium. How about that for a title? We were around the table. There were 13 institutions we had in the project. Some software developers, some producers. Let's call the creative people producers. So we sat around the table and said, "God, let's start. This is such an exciting project." So software developers said, "Guys, what kind of productions do you want to do? Because we are really excited and we want to start to build software." And said, "Oh, well, we don't quite know, because that's why we're here. We're really interested to use your tools to start to refine ideas, and we're really excited to learn about that." I said, "Well, hang on, we have no idea, we have no tools, because we need to learn from you what you want." So it seemed like an apparent deadlock, but it was a very rewarding process and project, and in 3 years' time we managed to refine some concepts, implement some sample productions, and also have the technology. So it's a hard job, and it's just starting. I think we're just discovering not the wheel, but what's simpler than the wheel, the slave. No, never mind.
Rock.
Yes, wrong joke. Get stuck in the middle of a joke. That's how good a storyteller I am. So it's really the very beginning. We have refined a number of structures. You must be happy with this concept. Structures which we think, by combining them, could be used in producing quite a variety of moving picture stories. Of course, they're not suitable for everything. We continue to refine it, but it's a very long process. So we have some generality there. You'll see they can be used, but we do hope that through use with your projects, we are going to understand more and build more and more and more, and we'll have better and better tools. So actually I went ahead and my slides are behind me. So you see that apparent deadlock between software and tools. And a lovely picture that comes from the NM2 project. Each picture here is for a particular production that we aimed to develop. Accidental Lovers will go in detail. Gormenghast Explorer, I'm going to talk. Dramatic. A Golden Age documentary, we're going to talk about it today. Runecast, kind of artistic touch. Not going to talk about it today unless you want. City Symphonies, a montage based on space. We're not going to talk about it today unless you want. News, personalized news, opening up archives. Another, it's called Interactive Village, another documentary with different storytelling aims in mind. And Gods in the Sky Choice, a documentary that brings myths into explanation. So there's the Chapman brothers working for ITV, and they produce a number of documentaries explaining how we started to engage with astronomy and all the nice myths around that. So we got that footage and tried to repurpose. So that's about repurposing. Created 4 interactions straight from the beginning. Repurposing, 4 interactions straight from the beginning. 4 interactions straight from the beginning. 4 interactions straight from the beginning. Repurposing archive material and blurring the difference between news and documentary. And what's this filmage? Interactive Village, did they shoot in the project, no? Yes. So from scratch. with interaction, interactivity in mind. And so these were not more than very basic idea. I want an interactive documentary about Elizabethan time in England. That was it. And this was not more than we want some software to do that. And then in the end, we kind of got what we wanted there. Some technical details. I was captured by that diagram. What we do here, so there is an authoring and development process. It's more or less we focus on post-production. The software focuses on post-production. So it doesn't go before that, say, to script writing or storyboarding or and then thinking of grammars of screen grammars for shooting. But as you'll see, it's kind of ready for storyboarding. It's kind of ready for script writing. The only thing that's missing in authoring is to allow us to plan how to shoot and the scenes and where to place the cameras and all that. We didn't deal with that reasoning at all. So there is an author that produces something, and once that something is done, is then delivered. So there's a two-stage process, like in any filmmaking. And what we did, we separated the media from what we call its representation, such that the software can reason with the media, but it is not hard-coded in the media. So it's all in symbols, and the software can take an interaction represented as a symbol and then instruct a composition engine to take the clips and render them and push them, whether broadcast or on broadband. And I'm not going to stay with that too much. That's quite important for computer scientists, as they understand that separation is quite generous. But for you, this separation allows us to take some media clips or a collection, bring another one in, and we get the same story, or push some more stuff in. It still works. So you could see user-generated coming in here, because you can enrich your repository and the storyteller keeps going. And we'll demonstrate this today, that will show you how certain structures work in accidental lovers in a golden age. But you can add, it could work with, I don't know, a collection of, say, 200 clips, but it could work with 2,000 clips. Obviously, the clips ought to be tagged. So we need to know what's in there. And that tagging could be manual, or could be through some automatic processes, as I explained there, tracking. But as long as the clips are there, then you move towards an electronic format. So rather than selling the format as it is nowadays in text form and everybody knows how to do you want to be a millionaire, you could actually encode it and just send the software that does it for you. That's another benefit for this separation. And one other thing technical about interaction, we are used today to press a button and get something. And users of interactive media expect many times that behavior. I'm in a game, I control everything, and it's instantaneous response. In storytelling, you may not, and most probably you don't want to go along that route. I don't want to change things just like that. To ensure story continuity, I have to finish an idea, and then I can respond to that. So this difficult question here, how responsive is the story? If it's not responsive enough, I'm not satisfied. I'm doing something here. It doesn't tell me anything. And I go, okay, well, whether I press the button or not, it's the same thing if I don't see it. So that's not good. But at the other end, if I think that I press something and something happens, or I know that something happens, that's again not a good form. So we have to find an optimal solution, and probably that's dependent on the production itself in each case.